hello, everyone. This is your favorite legendary opinionated Amerislav here at the Rich and Hydrated podcast today with a guest. Tell me how I pronounce your name correctly because I know several Michaelas and Mikayla. So,
Yeah,
what's the correct way?
Mikayla.
Mikayla. Today we have with us
Yes.
Mikayla Rose, who is originally
Yeah.
from America, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And she's now traveling the world and she's teaching people about the the divinity and the magic of relocating.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because like I just immigrated to America and I'm like America's amazing. And Michaela is like
Yes,
fuck
yes, yes.
America.
It's so funny too because I have been holding America for so long. So just a little background. I was born in America. My mom American actually has Native American blood, and then of course like American descendant of slave. Black. But my father is an immigrant. He's Jamaican. And then he passed away when I was young. And my stepfather was also an immigrant from Ghana. So I have a ton of like both sides. My mom is she's American. My mom was very adamant about sharing with me that, it's beyond this, like, leave everything that you read, like, make sure you explore yourself and, like, learn from other cultures. And so, um, I like the best of both worlds, like I said. But for me personally, I've always been so not just like proud to be an American, but proud to be a Black American in me for a long time. I always talk about community ancestors, spirits of the land. We need to venerate them, honor them, these people who contribute to our Americans. I feel like a lot of times with us, we go way back. Like a lot of times when we want to explore other cultures, other religions, we go way to Africa, which is fine. But I still think we have a disconnect from like people who are on the land. I wanted to stay in America for so long because I was like, if I leave America, honoring my ancestors, like I want to be here to fight. I want to carry on their fight. I want to carry on their mission, their drive, their purpose. And literally until maybe last year, that's what I was saying. I was like, I'm gonna be in America when it burned down, and I'm gonna be in America when it's built back up. I'm gonna be here. Y'all can't kick me out. And then I kind of started looking at my resources and they were dwindling. And I kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And I'm like, something to give, there has to be a cheat code to the system. There has to be a cheat code for me to succeed in this chaos. And for me, the best way for me to survive was to leave. Not necessarily forever, but to take my talents and my gifts and to detach in order to kind of get refocused and to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of correct mistakes that I've made in my younger years. To be very transparent with it and with building my business, I always felt like I couldn't get ahead. When I got to a point where my business was growing, my income was growing, it was almost like it's not growing enough because everything else is also growing. I can't even enjoy the exponential growth of my
Oh wait,
business
you're
because
you're
everything
getting
was.
choppy.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
no! I
no.
was about to. But I was about to end my little speech, but just can you hear me now?
Yes. So I'm trying to figure
Okay.
out. Do I have everything close on the end too? Yeah, you got a little choppy. So again, we'll see how it goes. We'll keep trying.
Okay. Yeah, I was just ending my little spiel of it's okay for me to leave the country in order to get myself together so I can be a better person, better leader, better guide for those who need me and show up better in my business and also clear the fog for people navigate that system um, from just a detached perspective and not me fighting it as well.
So there's two things that come to mind to me that I'd like to discuss with you. So for one, I believe that we should at all times go to places where we think we could amplify our happiness, our success, our health, whatever that looks like, right? Um, so I'd like to go down that path with you, because when you post about it, you still sometimes speak of a, you have this privilege, and I'm like, sister, let's fucking wait. Everyone can fucking move. However, everyone wants it to be easy and fucking like fun and just kind of be handed out. Everyone can move. If you're an American, you can fucking move, right?
Yeah.
Moving is the price of your fucking iPhone. You get to move. Most people spend more on fucking Starbucks, on fucking lies and morning texts with other, just like,
I'm
no,
screaming.
everyone can move. As an American, you are the golden, you can move anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And then no.
So when
And
I
then
speak on
one thing
my
that I'd
privilege,
like
oh,
you
I'm
to
sorry.
touch on
Go
is
ahead.
where, because we have this opposite experience, right? Like America's the whole golden grill for the rest of the world, including for me. And you, as you are being born in America, you say like, it's not what I expected it to be or what it used to be, or like some version of that, right? So anything.
Hmm. Yeah, so just to touch on, like I speak on, when I speak on my privilege, I definitely, I agree with you, of course. I think everyone can leave, but I'm also single with no kids. Well, I'm not single, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not married. I have no kids. I don't have too many attachments. I have an online business. I always had an online business. I haven't clocked in to it since I was like 19. So I've always made money from home. And I know a lot of people, what their concern is, well, how do I move my children? It's really expensive for me to move my children out of the resort, whatever, whatever other moving parts that they may have. I don't have to think about another life. Thank God my partner, my boyfriend, is so free. But it came down to, like, I'm always, I'm always, if it works for me and my future and my trajectory and my journey. And so, I really, not everybody can just drop everything and just, I'm leaving. There's other moving parts, other people, other opinion, lives at stake. So that's kind of what I mean when I say it. And then when it comes to like America, there's this idealized version of America that I think I wanted to have. Obviously, I'm not ignorant to some of the chaos that has always kind of gone on. However, I'm also not ignorant to the fact that we have so much opportunity in America to want to do. Even me overseas, the fact that I'm able to have a US passport that pretty much gets me into. And there's so many countries in Thailand specifically that you cannot. They're like, your country is violent. I'm over here with that. I'm not, no, you cannot come. So me coming into from America, there's so many countries in Southeast Asia I can enter without with just travel, so without having to do extra pay. Also, being able to make US dollars while I'm overseas is a huge, because my money goes so much further. Like, I will never take being an American citizen for granted. I even was joking about this on TikTok the other day, like, down to our freedom of speech. We talk so much trash about our president, and I don't want to get too political, but we talk so much trash about him to the point where over here they also joke about him. Like, they also will say little things. There's this guy who was like moving his head in like in a way with his hair, I guess, I don't know. But real family here, you can't say nothing about them people. You can talk about them. You can't say anything. You will go to jail. And I don't take stuff like that for granted. I think everyone deserves freedom of speech, but also, I'm not even going to go down that route. I'll stop there. I think everyone deserves freedom of speech, and I am so grateful to be in America, even amidst all of the transitions of power and what's going on right now.
Right. And I just want to emphasize for people who are listening slash watching, there's a huge misconception about the First Amendment, right? What freedom of speech is. Freedom of speech is not um, you can well, freedom of speech for one is you can say whatever you want, as long as not like illegal or criminal. But freedom of speech absolves you of the government punishing
Mm-hmm.
you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like Russia, you have like very few countries have freedom of speech, and that's actually
Mm-hmm.
decreasing. Like the UK is right now arresting people just for social media posts, right? Not even like
Wow.
inciting violence or something, but we there I believe
Yeah.
there's like 12,000 arrests right now just for a social media post or a meme or something, right? So
Wow.
freedom of speech is very unique to America.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and I will never. I didn't even know all of that about the UK.
oh my God, world is getting wild.
It really is. It really is.
But honestly, how good is it to have USD and live overseas?
It's so amazing. So even down to where I'm, because obviously I don't have a permanent residence yet. We've been looking, but haven't fully decided where we want to settle down. Or if we want to settle, we might just travel for the next year. Who knows? But even just finding lodging, it's like $30 a night, maybe $50 a night, depending on it. Even as cheap as it can fit any budget, but my money goes so much further to the point where now I feel like I can pour more money back into my business, back into the things I actually want to do, back into fixing my credit, back to actually setting myself up for the future and investing in myself because I had a really good financial upbringing, and I should say I got trained on like my mother instilled. I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was 7 years old. We used to have like this video game play, so I was not ignorant to a lot of the financial literacy that a lot of people are learning in adulthood. However, I still made mistakes. Still made a lot
Oh,
of
sure.
mistakes,
And
for
theory is
sure.
one thing, right? Like
Right,
knowing or theoretically understanding is a different thing than actually embodying, because that's wisdom, right? Like
right,
theory
right.
plus actual practice and practical application, that's the wisdom.
Right, right. And I swear, it when I was like 18, it always was like, oh, I'm just gonna get rich and pay these off, or I had this scheme that I was just gonna get rich and pay off all my debt, and I'll be fine. It didn't happen like that. So I hit 25, and I was just like, wow, I'm really drowning, So I started climbing out a little bit, paying stuff here and there, but it just got worse and worse to the point where now I'm losing my car. Like it was crazy. I always have cars and with getting housing because of my mistakes in the past. And it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm always having to rob Peter. I'm always having to kind of finesse and try to get ahead. Let me just leave so that I can, like I said, I can set myself up to be better when I come myself up to now. I don't need a co-signer. I don't need to ask my mom for help or even ask many people, even my partner lean on using his name and all of these things. I can really, really focus on getting ahead, rebuilding myself, and then come back 10 times better. So just even being able to make US dollars, I know I kind of being able to make US dollars and be in a country that it goes so far, I don't take that for granted at all because I see how people live out here. They have these high rises and these things that you can see are catered to Westerners. Like still super. Even the locals are like, I would never pay $1,000 for an apartment, but that's the stuff that we're not comfortable. And we're looking at it like, do you know what we would get for it? That we would never get a high rise down for $1,000. That would be $600. So I don't mind paying $1,000 for this. That, oh, I get to save money here. It's the fact that I get a better quality of life. My food doesn't make me feel sick. I get to experience a different culture. I get more for my money. It just stretches so much further. I'm gonna go on and on about how grateful I am to be able to make US dollars and be in a country still, of course, it's still developing, but has so much to offer. Just mentally, spiritually, I feel like I'm gonna be spending a lot of time even just calming my nervous system. from being like survival mode all the time. It's like, wow, I can focus on myself. I can breathe. Wow, what's going on in my mental? That's kind of where I've been lately, where I'm like, okay, shadow work time, because I still feel uneasy. What is it internally? Because my external is fine. What am I doing now?
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, so you're still a youngster. Oh, that's fucking
I'm
epic.
a
Good.
baby. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love when the babies like go out in the world. Like that's the best. It's like the best
Yes.
experience. It's the yeah, I love that for you. So, how did you choose though where you were about to go? Because I want to again, I want to like emphasize the reality. Countries where the USD goes far, um you get to live like a great life because you set up your you set yourself up for success, right? You have like an
Yeah.
amazing business. How do you choose where to go?
Yeah. So there's a few different things that kind of played into this. For one, my very close, she had her 40th birthday celebration out here in Samoa. So she told us about a year ago. She was like, "Hey, start saving money." Cool. Really around that time, me and my partner started looking at Thailand, moving to Southeast Asia. The city is the best. We started seeing so many Americans moving to Thailand. Like there's even coming out here, like, oh, there's more every day. I see Americans every day. I see there's a lot of Russians out here. Like I see so many
Fucking
people.
Russians are fucking everywhere. Russians and their Russian money. Like, damn.
They're everywhere. Yeah, even our photographer on vacation. It was so funny. But I started researching Thailand and then we started looking at other areas. Because I'm kind of somewhere, I'm someone who, I don't know, it might be I have an Aquarius. So I kind of don't like doing what everybody else is doing. So when I was like, well, let's look at Malaysia and like Vietnam and other places. Because I don't want to move. I don't want to leave America to be around a bunch of other Americans. Like that's not something I wanted to do. So I started looking at Malaysia. We started looking at even the Philippines, a little bit, Laos, like everything that was kind of in this region. And we were just seeing how I was watching a lot of like cost of living videos, and I was seeing how beautiful the architecture was and the people, and how actually it's actually easy to leave. I told my thank you for inviting me on this trip. This actually was my first international trip. I've never been out of the country before this. So when I've been up, I mean, that's a U.S. territory, so that doesn't count to me. But yeah, I was just like, thank you for inviting me. You showed me how easy it was. A couple times, and it really was nothing. And even so, when we got on the vacation, we actually didn't plan to stay out here. Our was to go enjoy the vacation. So we did Japan, we did a few cities around Thailand before the whole vacation. And then our plan was to do Bangkok, do apartment tours around Bangkok, pack stuff, and then come back. And like that. And something in my spirit told me that. Something in my spirit was like, just sell all this stuff before you leave. But part of me was like, no, we're gonna come back. But we ended up being in Bangkok and we were like, when do you want to go home? You know? And my partner was like, I'm not really in a rush to go home. Do you have something to do? I'm like, no, I don't have anything to do. And we were like, okay, well, we'll go home. We feel like going home. And it actually was our apartment, our lease was up in October. But actually lined up perfectly because we were able to kind of just let the apartment go at the same time we were here. And so it actually took some help from our friends too. Like we had our friends go to the house and grab some things and have people clear things out. So actually, having a great community also helped, to be able to. We also have a dog who friend is watching while we're out here. So it really does help to have a community. But I've always been the kind of person, like I said before, that just my partner, even when we met, we were kind of just living all over the place, like moving here to there, Charlotte, Houston, wherever, Florida. He was living in Florida when I met him. And so it wasn't any different. It wasn't weird to us to just be like, well, we have a duffel, whatever. We started buying stuff for suitcase. Okay, now we have enough, so let's get a suitcase. Like it wasn't anything weird for us. And I'm so happy that he's so like I am. Because again, we don't have any children. We don't really have any big major responsibilities that's like really impending for us. So we're just like, whatever, we'll just go home when we feel like it. And so the conversation up recently, like our visa, our tour is about to expire. So we were like, you want to go home? No, let's go to Malaysia for a little bit and see how that is, you know. And it really was spontaneous, but it was just so easy. It was so simple. I'm not attached to America. I don't care. Like I love my family and stuff, but like I've never been attached to them either. I'm out of here.
You know what's funny? It's because I can see like your following, and a lot of people are righteously, by the way, impressed by your traveling. And as someone who traveled the world since like age 17,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that was my life. When people go like, aren't you afraid or this? I'm like, no, you just kind of go. But you can, if you're like the free soul, you can explain how easy it gets to be to people who are afraid.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to LA spontaneously, I just went out there. Why not? I was talking to my friend from back home, and he was, "How you just leave?" And it threw me off. It's like, yeah, I mean, I can always go back. Like if it doesn't work out, I can always go back. And I did. I didn't like LA, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go home. Like, and then I left again. I lived in Dallas. I lived in New York City. I was born in New York City. I lived in Charlotte. I lived in South Carolina. I lived in Florida. I lived all over the U.S. So it's like the next step for me obviously was to leave the country. It just took this long to do it.
So from a traveler to a traveler, I feel that one of the big misconception of traveling is that you get to kind of like pause your problems or anything or your triggers, right? And like the first month or so, like, yeah, it's kind of like new me, who this? And then all the triggers come back.
Like, hi, you're still, hi. There you are. Yeah, that's literally was when we first got here. Just I feel like we were on like a month-long vacation. You know, even after my friends went home and we're in Bangkok and we're having a ball, food, and we're exploring all the things and we're doing all the stuff and we're outside. And then eventually it's like, okay, I literally I had to like lock myself in a room one day this often where I just kind of disconnect from technology and all the things. And my spirit literally was like the work isn't over yet. You know, like you have to show up for your community. You left the country. You said that you felt like you couldn't focus on your mission because you were in survival mode. You said that you wish you would had some kind of relief so that scramble to put offers together or just all the things that we do in order. You said that you wanted to focus on being of service to people. That's what you said. We gave you that. We got you out the country easy. When I tell you it was so easy, I literally had money falling out of the sky before the trip. It was insane. And so it was out of the country. Now what? You cannot, what are you going to do? And so now I have to work through, okay, what do I want to be known for? And how do I want to show up? I'm also in like that Saturn return. I don't know how well versed in astrology you are, but I'm also like in that Saturn return era. And I always say like Saturn be in my ear. Okay, so what are we doing? Because I'm about to take my leash off and see how you handle yourself. Like how are you going to navigate in the world? Because you're not just free to something that has to serve a purpose. And so now I'm navigating, okay, where have you been holding yourself back? I have a deathly fear of visibility. And that has been holding me back in business. And it's funny when I talk to people, they're like, I didn't know you didn't like attention. No, I hate attention. I like good attention. Obviously, I'm a human. Sure. But I also hate the dark side that comes with it. And so that stops me from sharing my perspective. Even when I have been on camera all this time, it has been it hasn't really been my perspective on God, on how we're supposed to interact with the world. So now I'm learning how to really heal my voice and really tap into what it is that I feel like. I would say like the archetype of God. I'm really learning how to embrace that now that I'm not in this mode of, well, let me just drop an offer. Let me discount a service. It's like, no, girl, because you're gonna do that and ain't nobody. We gonna stop all your bookings. How about that? So you can
Right.
see that this is not impactful. Where's your impact? It's time to get for real. So
So um I would like you to just in the most like amateur way explain what Saturn return is. Like I know it. I am very like anti-astrology. I'm a triple Capricorn. So I'm like, let's go. Where's the data? Where's the statistic? But so I always joke
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I'm anti-astrology, but I'm still saying I'm a triple Capricorn motherfucker. So like,
yeah.
let's go. But so
Got
what
you,
does
got
Saturn
you. Yeah,
return mean for you?
yeah. So in our natal charts, when we were born, Saturn was at a position in the sky. When we turn around 27 and a half, 28, it goes back to the vision. And so I like to call it our initiation into adulthood. This is when, so Saturn rules heart, Saturn in that way. I like explaining Saturn. This is your authoritative aspect of you. This is the part of you that knows better. This is the part that is like your parental father figure that's really grounded and knows how to create solid ground and cruise the discipline that you need. And I feel like in our Saturn return, that the ways that we have maybe lacked discipline in the first 28 years comes to the surface, or all of the ways that we've kind of gotten away from ourselves. Also, I feel like I'm going back. It's not even me learning new things, it's me going back to who I was at my core before I let the world tell me what's wrong or what I'm doing or how I should act, how I should be. And I feel like, so Saturn structure, I feel like in our Saturn return, to structure our lives, ourselves, and structures.
Mhm. How so when we talk about Saturn, we often attach like discipline to it, right? Why do you
Mhm.
think discipline tends to have such a negative connotation? I know once you
Yeah.
get like a healthier relationship, like I believe discipline is the highest form of self-love, self-worship,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, and it's like your ode
Yes,
to the universe
devotion.
and the gods. Like, yes, here I am, right? Like it's
Yeah,
a
yes,
grounded. Why do
yes.
you think discipline has a negative connotation, though?
I think it can feel confining. I feel like, okay, so the real Mikayla answer, I think a lot of people also have like daddy issues too.
Oh, 100%.
They project it into
100%.
like,
Church, daddy,
yeah,
school, government. It's all like that masculine because I said so.
yes, yes. And I think even that's being highlighted right now with more astrology jargon. Chiron is in Aries, which is a wounded masculine. So a lot of us are rewiring or confronting our wounded masculine. A lot of this jargon is wounded feminine. Our feminine is wounded. No, our feminine has been. We've been chaotic. We've been free all this time. Y'all don't not have wounded feminine. You have a wounded masculine. You have with power, with discipline, with structure, with focus. You have a wounded relationship with routine. So all of y'all reject religion. All of y'all, like you said, reject the government. Y'all reject any kind of system in your life. To the point where it's chaotic. So I think people just don't like they're confined to a box. But for me, I think discipline, like you said, that it's like with the gods, and it's funny because Saturn does rule contracts, and so that's how I see it. Like, okay, I am, I have, I'm attracting myself to show up in this way so that life can also meet me here and have this life that I want. I feel I need these character traits in order to have this life. I'm going to here. Let's sign this document. And then because I feel like around this time, it's like, okay, well, you ain't been holding up your end of the deal. You know, we got you like country. We dropped money up. What you doing? Oh no. Dry this up. because no, this is not what we that's for. And I think it's just a matter of like being in devotion, like keeping my promises as well. You know,
Devotion.
that's
Yes.
how yes, that's definitely the key word. I think that that word has been coming up a lot. Devotion and encounters have been coming up a lot for me. Like, what is this encounter teaching you about yourself and what you care about and what you stand for? But yeah, people have this wounded masculine. It causes them to reject down to spirituality, and we see. I think that's why people go into psychosis or even run back to Christianity because it was spiritual to do this and that, and recognizing that you still need some kind of like routine. And if you don't have the discipline within yourself to give yourself the routine of how you connect with your version of God, then you go back to what's familiar. But I don't mean to change. This
No,
something
no, I
I've
love it.
noticed.
What I'm wondering, because my angle, yes to everything you said, and I also feel that we chronically in the modern West, so America, Canada, Australia, like everything modern, everything from Germany more west, that we have like this chronicle infancy going on where everyone only wants the rewards, only the happy things, only the joy, right? And the discipline or the hard things are being considered like almost like a punishment. And it's like, no, it's like preparing you for a bigger reward.
Yes, you're explaining Saturn so well, and you don't even you are. That's the triple Capricorn coming through. No, that's so funny. I was literally talking to my partner about this earlier because we were talking about the and how people are like, oh, I hate hustle bros. Like speaking about them, I hate hustle bros and da 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 da. And it's like I think I remember one of them. I don't remember if it was Alex or Layla who was just sometimes balance looks like hustling now so that you can rest later. Sometimes that's how it looks. Now, I don't like where do y'all think y'all about to get all of these rewards, all of this money, all of this success without putting in the work. I don't even like know that consciously, but I'm putting that to the test now. Like yesterday, I scheduled content throughout the day. I posted in Coach Jay's group, and I was like, "Tell me I got to do this again tomorrow." And it's like, "Yes, girl, this is your job. This is your job. What makes you think you can just exist and get it's crazy? Yes, you can, but you have to open to come to you. So, are we monetizing our platforms? Are we promoting an offer? What are we doing? Because you just being stagnant, they're creating your own blockage. So open up the streams for you to flow. That's what I like to say. Create the structure for you to flow. Because if things are in systems, then you can flow more easily because you have something familiar to root yourself back into. And I can to tie it back into traveling, right? My hardest thing out here. So at home, I'm always at my altar. I'm always spell. Like, and it's not always elaborate, but I'm always like I'm lighting a candle, and while the candle is lit, I'm doing something to help that candle. So like I learn while I work. It's just something that mentally keeps me rooted and grounded in my practice. But out here, it's like you don't have no candle. You the altar. You have to remember that you're the vessel. You're the power. So I really had to lean back into the other ways that I try to keep myself grounded spiritually. I have a lot of family members that are Muslim. I spend a lot of time in a Muslim community. So what I celebrate Ramadan every year. So I'm got no candle, no herbs, you don't got no nothing. You better start praying 5 times a day. And that's really been grounded out here. But it's very much been of your faith without your tools. How strong is your faith without all of that to fill our time and you know it's very much been a test of faith out here and
I love
trying
that.
to create new rituals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so one thing that I've noticed in my corners of the spiritual world, and I would love to hear if that's something you recognize too, is that a lot of people are seeking the bypassing of mundane activities in the spiritual world. Like, so you can be spiritual all you want, but I still think you need to take care of your body, right? You need good sleep, you need
Sure.
some version of workout. And I see a lot of people in spiritual communities get into only the spirit but not tend to the vessel.
Agreed.
And then you become like this floating kind of head.
Agreed. And then we have these instances where people see in the clips happening and they kill themselves and their whole family. Like this is real, you know. And this is what I'm always saying to, please root yourself in something tangible, root yourself in like you're still a human escaping through these readings. Even some people who become my clients and they get readings all the time, I literally stop them. I'm like, you need to go live your life. They may go off to another, it's none of my business, but it's the integrity of me continue to take these people money weekly, day, sometimes other day. Like, hey girl, can I send you this for a reading? Not, you need to go live your life. You need to go work out. You need to go work on your family. You need to go do some shadow. You need to journal. I'm an avid journaler. I remember telling somebody to go journal. They were like, what is that going to do? Oh my gosh.
Oh no, let's
Okay,
go
to
there.
therapy. I don't know.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm such an, I've always been an avid journaler since I was a little girl. And I'm so mad because I've lost so many journals, like in transit, moving around and stuff. But for me, it's like reading my own self-help book. It's the best self-help book that I can ever read because I can go back, I can look at patterns, I can look at past experiences, how I handled them. I can look at traits that I may have interacted with and down how much I did not like that. What does even when I broke up with my ex, whenever I missed him, I went back in my journal and reminded myself of all of the reasons why we are no longer together. Out here, I didn't bring my notebook because I was like, oh, I can just write my note app. No, I have one of my friends. She knows I write a lot. She got me a journal immediately. I've been filling this up. It's about time to get into it. I'm always writing because I need to. For one, I feel like it's almost an act of prayer to me. It's almost like communion with my spirits when I write. It's something so much different. I mean, I speak out loud, but there's something so powerful about like seeing my writing on paper and seeing words and seeing them real. But I can a contract too. Like this is a contract with yourself. I can write down the things that I want. The things I have achieved. When I start even feeling low, I may not have accomplished what I wanted, or whatever. We have those days. I can go back in my journal and say, "Girl, you so far." Or here's the plan. Look at you were planning at 3 a.m. like 4 nights ago. Go. You don't know what to do today. You stressed out. Here's the plan. Layla said, hey, fuck your feelings. Stick to the plan. Here's the thing. That's something that is so crucial to me in my journey. And when I tell other people and they don't get it, I'm like, so like, how do you self-reflect? When do you? I mean, because maybe not everybody's. That's fine, but what else do you do? Like therapy, I feel like you should still journal so you can go to therapy and talk about it, and
Well, and the thing about writing being able to transfer anything that's going on the inside onto paper, it requires you to actually zoom into your thoughts, right? Because your thoughts go way faster than your hand goes. So you have to actually become conscious of what you are thinking and then translate it into some kind of words. It doesn't even have to be cohesive, but just the art of doing that is such a great practice.
Yeah. I even tell people, if you got to talk most, lately I've really been liking that. I'll go on a long walk. It helps my steps in. Go on a long walk. I'll literally just talk to my voice memos like it's a podcast. And that's honestly how I've been writing blogs lately. That's how I've been really just talk to my phone. And I love to transcribe it now because I'm like, cool, we can copy and paste this part, put this up. Here's my post for it's been so therapeutic. So I'm like, if you don't like to write, I mean, pull up your camera and talk. Like, and watch it back. I don't read back, or they don't watch back, or they don't listen back. But there's so many little gems that I think we say, even when we're just, you can call it channeling, consciousness, whatever you want to. There's so many gems that answers that we get and clarity that we get, just allowing ourselves to kind of just go mindlessly. I actually didn't even need to ask for advice. I knew the answer to that. I knew what I needed in that moment. Listen to your thoughts. Spend time with yourself. I even tell people like meditation people think meditation is like calming your mind or quieting your mind. That's not how it works for me. I use meditation to dump my thoughts, like sort through. Okay, bing, we can delete that, archive that, sort this for later. So that's how I
Where
use
does the
meditation to
idea
sort through my
come
thoughts.
from? That because I meditate every day. I journal every day as well. And people have this idea that meditation is the practice of calming your mind. And I'm like, that's never going to happen. Like biologically, it's not possible to
Yeah.
calm your mind because it shoots 40,000 neurons like a day. I don't know how many. Like you can't go against biology. But it's like, yes, getting clear. What am I actually thinking? What is mine? Is this thought mine? Did I get that from somewhere else? Is it helpful? Is it supportive? Well, no. Okay, delete, focus on the other thought. Like, yeah, yes.
Right. Yeah. Maybe a language thing. Like when people are trying to communicate what's going on, maybe it gets lost in translation somewhere. Because I do remember hearing like silencing the monkey thing that I've always heard in relation to
Yeah.
meditation. And so for me, I think it does get to a point where it's quiet. Like after I let all of my thoughts run out, it does get to a point thoughts to sort through anymore. Now I can focus. Now I can focus on, not allowing random the thoughts to come through. But also, I think when people say silence in the monkey mind, they more so need to observe it, but I think interpret it as shutting it up, which I think causes more problems because now you're anxious
Now you're
because
fighting it.
yourself. And I tell people, if you can't even be safe in your own mind, where can you be safe? And meditation should be the practice that allows you to be safe with your own mind.
That's amazing. If you can't even be safe in your own mind. Woo! Reach. Oh, I love that. Oh my God, that was
Yes,
such a good
yes.
one. That's so you need to make a whole series about like for your next, TikToks or whatever, the safety of your own mind.
Yes, yes. I'll add it to the list. I'm about to get my TikTok is this close to being monetized, so I'm about to bring it
That's so exciting. So we will have to do this like in a few weeks again if you're up for it. Because you have a lot
Absolutely.
of moving parts, so absolutely fun. Tell us
Yeah.
what are you doing right now? What are your offers? Where can everyone find you? Tell us all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yes. So, I didn't even introduce like what I do. I am an astrologer, a writer. I'm a lot of things. I've been a lot of things. I'll probably some more things, but all of the things tend to come back to making God make sense. Um, I've created this sort of philosophy called Sacred Source Code, where I explore almost this architecture that runs beneath our. The closest thing I can relate it to is like the Matrix. I decode. This is how I like to see it, right? The program beneath our reality, beneath every religion, beneath everything we think we know and understand and interact with, and I create frameworks and such belief systems are. So I kind of live at like this intersection of spiritual technology transformation and help people decode their lives so they can read from the inside out. And so you speak astrology, I can spit it to you with astrology, I can spit it to you with your whatever religion you practice, I can spit it to you in what you hustler, which I can spit it to you whatever language you need it spit to you. And so right now I'm really just focused on leaning into this era of mine. So you can find me on Substack, Mikayla Rose, .substack.com. All of my platforms, the Mikayla Rose, TheeMiylaraRose, and some books dropping. I have one book out, Sacred Source Code, Volume 1, where it's kind of just about spell work and like how it works beneath the system. So whatever practice, whether it's just even with Christianity and how manifestation itself works. This next, my current work in progress is working on, my current work in progress is kind of decoding what spirits are, interfaces. And yeah, I'm continuing to build out this philosophy and this coding system. I'm really excited to get into even just surviving the economy and what I'm seeing for the economy shift. So a lot to come, a lot to come. But I'm a writer. You can follow me everywhere to keep up with my writing. And yeah, I'm so excited for and book a reading and all the things.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that all the links are everywhere, obviously.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
So good. Thank you so much for coming
This was
on. I know it's
great.
super early
Thank
for
you for
you.
having
So
me. No, it's fine. I'm excited for this. You know, I love you. I love your content, and I love just having someone who is me a lot, because I'll see things actually shift my about Christmas the other day, and it's like, no, I really never thought of it that way. You know, things that you say or do that I'm like, I never thought about it. We're really fucking privileged. Excuse my French, we're really privileged. And it's cool to see you come to a country and take advantage of all of the opportunities that we have and give us the other side of it. So I really appreciate having you in like my little internet sphere. And I was so excited when you invited me on here. I'm so happy to be able to
thank you
talk to
so
you live.
much. And like, and I what I love, because again, I'm saying I'm air quote anti-astrology, but I fucking love you, right? Like, so it's like the perfect when the values stack, the rest doesn't matter. All the external, their experiences, but there's always overlap. And yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
I'm loving to hearing your perspective as a born American now leaving to the world. And again, yeah, just loving
Mhm.
it, loving it. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on, and we can do
You
it
were
in a
so
few
welcome.
weeks again, and you can update us on our
Yes,
adventures.
yes, yes. I'll be in Malaysia and we can talk about Malaysian food.
Hell yes.
Whenever
So everyone,
you're
this
ready,
is
I'm
your
down.
yes. This is your favorite legendary opinionated Amerislav here at Rich and Hydrated with Mikayla Rose, and she'll be back in a few weeks. But for now, I want you to follow like everywhere, and like she shares her journey with us all. So like really get involved. Thank you for having us, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.